Inside that cascading style sheet, one file will be there, text file, CSS, developer guide, one folder in the line CSS, one more folder in internal CSS, folder CSS, and one more folder in line internal external. Okay. Create this three folder and then create one file CSS developer guide. Okay, ready folder. Now we can go to the developer guide page. In CSS developer guide page, we can write few lines. HTML, what you have, it has collections of tags with limited property and values. With limited properties and values. HTML has a collections of tags with the limited property and values. CSS getting a style sheet. It has collections of only property value. It has collections of only property and value. In CSS, we don't have anything called tag. It has only property and values. Okay, cascading style sheet. It has collections of only property and value. Now, using this property value, what you can do is using CSS property value, using CSS property and value, we can change the look and feel of web page. The look and feel of HTML. We can change the look and feel of HTML. Okay. Using CSS property and value. Using CSS property and value, we can change the look and feel of HTML. Now what and how it will be? Suppose if you are creating a responsive web page, how that look? That will work in all the device, mobile also, laptop also, desktop also, everywhere it will work. Internal structure will be from HTML, we have to call the tabs. Plus from CSS, we have to call the property and values. From HTML, we have to call the tags. Plus from CSS, we have to call the property and value. After that, you can create a responsive web page and it will work in all the devices. Okay, ready to hear? Now, let's come down. Suppose, for example, CSS plus HTML both we are going to do here together. What are the method we have where we can mix both HTML and CSS? We can combine together. So we can write type of CSS. Type of CSS. How many way we can link HTML and CSS? How many way we can write the CSS? So for that we have question called type of CSS. One is called inline. Second one you have called a internal. One more you have called a external. One more we have called a import. But due to slow in execution, this method people not use in production. Due to slow in execution, this method people will not use in production server. First method also you can write due to duplicate code of CSS. This method also not used in this method also people not use in production. Which method? The inline method. Another which method? Import method. Inline method, if you are following, you have to write a duplicate code. Same CSS code you have to write again and again. Import method, if you are following, then it is very slow to execute. It takes a long time to execute. When the traffic will increase in the website, it has a read and write system. It will take long time to read and write. By then, web page will become slow. Page will become slow, user experience will be bad. Then which method use? If we have the limited CSS code, limited number of lines, then use this. If limited number of line, then use this. If heavy CSS file, use this. Heavy CSS code better. Use this method. Fast to execute. Fast in execution. So overall, main targeted position should be these two, internal and external. Internal and external. So how many type of CSS? Four type of CSS. One is called inline, internal, external, and import. We will work on all. We'll give you the example of import CSS. We'll create 1-2 example. You will understand easily. Okay, so we will work today on this folder, inline folder. We will understand how to write CSS, where to write the CSS, what are the properties are here. The property value will remain same, whether you follow inline method, internal method, external method, import method, follow any method, property and value will be remain same. Okay, the places will get changed. In inline, maybe you have to write all together. In internal, little changes will happen in the code. In external, some changes will happen. In import, some changes will happen. Okay. CSS property value will be remain same. The way of integration with HTML and CSS will get changed. CSS code will be remain same. So now we will go to the inline CSS and we will implement some example and will identify property value how it works. Inline CSS. Inline CSS. One small example we can write here and we'll understand, then we'll go next. Suppose you have a div tag, div open and close. Inside the div tag, we write align equal to center, where align is the attribute property and center is the value. Align is the predefined property and center is the value from HTML. from HTML. Now, same thing if you do in CSS, how it look. Okay, in CSS, how it look. A division, open and close. For this division, according to inline CSS, we have to call a style property here. So a style becomes a HTML property. Under the style, you will be calling the CSS property and value. Suppose here in the term of HTML, you have applied a property called align, you given the value as a center. But in the term of CSS, how it will be? It will be like this, property colon value. You can call one more property colon value. So in the term of HTML, what you saw, align becomes a property equal to center becomes a value. In the term of CSS, we saw property colon value equal to will not come here. In HTML, the separator is equal to, but in CSS, separator is colon. Every value will end by semicolon. Every value will end by semicolon. Between property and value, there will be separator as a colon. So property and value. Again, second property and their value. Now suppose if I come here, write a division. For this division, if I use the actual property of CSS, it look like this. A style equal to, for align in CSS, we have a property called text hyphen align. And value will be center only. Semicolon. Semicolon represent end of your particular value. End of the particular value. Now after that, we will use the second property that is called color colon red. So inside that division, whichever the text will come, it will be in the red color. I am in red color. So what will happen now? The text what you write here, it will convert into red. So text align becomes a property, colon becomes separator, center becomes a value. Semicolon is the end of the value. Color becomes the property, red is the value, semicolon is the end of the value. Similar way, background is the property, green is the value. So how we are separating the CSS property and value? Property and value will be separated by colon. End of the value will be semicolon. End of the value will be by semicolon. So semicolon will be required everywhere after end of the value. The last semicolon will be optional. Like suppose I have given the green, after green also we have a semicolon. In case after green will not give semicolon, no problem, it will work. But that will become a wrong habit of programming. Okay. The value must end by semicolon. That is a better practice for JavaScript developer, Angular React developer, CSS developer, HTML developer. Okay. Now based on that, we will create the file now. So it's a property and value. Division is a tag name that come from the HTML, whereas a style is the property that come from where? HTML only. But text align is the property of CSS and center is the value of CSS. Color is the property of CSS, red is the value from CSS. Background is the property of CSS, green is the value of CSS. Okay. Now we'll create the next file, example1.html under the inline CSS folder. Example1.html under the inline CSS folder. Okay. Example1.html under the inline CSS folder. HTML start here. Follow the body tag. It also will write, but from internal CSS, not. Now, body is the tag name. For that, we'll apply a style property. In that, we'll call a background, and under the background, we'll set the value as a pink. So complete background of current screen will convert into pink color. The complete background of current screen will convert into pink color. Okay, ready? Let us see it now. The background is coming in pink color. So background is coming under the pink color. Next, after that, write one H1 tag. For this, write color equal to blue color. Color you can't write directly. We have to use a style here. Color blue. There we can write this is in blue color. So the content of this H1 will convert into blue color because through the CSS, from CSS, we have taken a property name is for color and value we set as a blue. So the H1 is going to inherit one property from the CSS. That property name is called color. And the value will be for that as a blue. If you run the file, the H1 should come in blue color. Now come after that, write another element. Suppose div tag used to divide page into multiple blocks. And then right here, div used to divide HTML body into multiple blocks. Div used to divide HTML body into multiple blocks. Div used to divide the HTML body into multiple blocks. Okay, now let me write here some CSS for this. We can set some height for division, width for division, background for division. We will call a property called style, and from a style, CSS will inherit a property called height with the value of 200 pixel. Will inherit one more property called width with the value of 200 pixel, and we'll call one more property called background white. So what will happen now? The division will inherit three feature from the three property from the CSS, that is called one is height with 200 pixel value, second property is width with the 200 value, and the third property is background with the again white as a value. So each value must end with semicolon, and between property and value you should have colon as a separator. If I run this page, we can see something like this, where we got the division with certain background and with a specific value. Come down below. Keep one more similar division. Height little be same. Increase the width little. 300 pixel. Background convert into blue color and keep color as white. Color white. Color as white. COLOR. So it will create one more division, one more block 200 by 300. Background will be blue color and text color will be white color. Blue white combination.
So actually, for color, that property is background color, right?
Background we have 9 types.
Color. Yes, sir. But background is shortened, I think. And for particular color, if you're mentioning the color, then I think we have to mention background color property.
No, background we can set using
Mm.
9 methods. Background we can set using 9 methods. Out
Yes.
of 9, one is the background.
Uh,
Suppose we will make a list of all.
okay. But okay. So,
To set the background, you have total 9
uh,
methods, not only
we
one.
have so many methods, but I thought for changing color, we
Hmm.
have to mention background then with that color. Means total that property name is background color, I think.
Background color, background,
Mm,
background color, background color. In
mm.
that we can set linear gradient. Background color we can set as a RGB. Background color we can set RGBA. Background color we can set with the uh, multiple option. Okay, so one by one you learn. I will give you 9 ways to set the
Okay.
background. Whichever you feel better, you can apply.
Okay.
It's not any specific background only and background color only. Okay, so we have how many ways? We have not one method. I have 9 way for that, 9 method for that. Background will also work. Background color will also work.
Background will also work, but I think for exact property will be background color. So just I told that.
Okay, now see, I have given background is which color? Blue. See, blue is coming. Now let me write here background hyphen color, background hyphen color is a blue. Now you see any difference?
No, sir, it will work, but I thought that is shorthand. So to mention means exact property, this one is correct. I thought that's it. Just I enquired with you. That's
Background property
mm.
also we have background color.
Background we are having, but I thought background that word is shorthand. So to mention the color, we have to use background color. This property, whatever you mentioned now. So just I enquired with you. That's nothing else.
If I write background, I cannot.
And then also it works. So I know.
If I use background here, you cannot
Mm.
write the value as a RGB. Okay, you
Okay.
can write RGBA.
Okay.
But if you write background hyphen color, you can mention the value
Mm.
in RGB. RGB means what? Red, green, blue.
Red,
So we
green,
have
blue.
a range of 1 to 255. We can choose the color.
Okay.
We can keep a permutation combination. Okay, if you write background hyphen color, then you can use RGBA with the opacity. RGBA you can write there, in that you can set the opacity. That opacity represent the bright.
Alpha. Mm.
Okay,
Yes,
that opacity
understand.
come from the A, RGB,
Yes.
red, green, blue, and A for opacity. There the value
Correct.
start
Okay.
from 0.1 to 0.9.
Yes.
0.1 is the lowest and 9 is 10 is 1 is the highest. I have
Okay.
all solution, but one by one, not in the one
Okay.
example only.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, now run it and see how that look. This will also give some structure, height, width. But another problem what we have is one division took 200 height, 300 is width. Another division take 200 by 200. Now both division come in the new line. The blue can fit in the same line also here because there is a lot of space. The blue 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3 like this dimension can fit here. 200 by 300, maybe two block can fit here in the same line, but it's still available space we have huge, and this block gone to the new line. Reason in here, the division what you have followed is called a block level element, block level tag. Your H1 is the block level tag. By default, it will not come in the same line. Width we have given limited 200 only. Here also width is 300. But there is a property called scope. Scope is 100%. Means a scope meaning is a kind of a right. In the day-to-day, how we use the word called right. I have this right, I have this right. Similar way, we have two type of tag in HTML. One is called inline element, another one is called a block level element. Inline element cover the width equal to content. How much content you have written, that much width it will get covered. But block level element, width will be something else and the area will be something else. There, what property will get applied? Scope property will get applied. Scope says like scope is a local scope, global scope, inline scope, block level element, block level scope. So that few tags we have in HTML, their scope is a block level. That represent its cover 100%. Width will be less, visibility will be less, but it will not allow other element to come in the same line. For example, you see here, the one division you wrote here 200 by 200. Now this division is not agree to allow other element to come in the same line. Other element will go to the name line. Not only division I'm talking. If you write here as some other inline tag also, it will not come in same line. It will go to the name line. Because this tag, the first tag we have followed division, it's called my area is complete. This from A to Z, all area belong to me. Who will say division? CSS say no problem. We have option. We can change the nature of tag. We can change the behavior of tag from the block to inline and inline to block. According to need, we can rearrange it. So how many property you wrote in this? Height, width, and then background, and then color. Okay. Come to the your developer guide. Right here, list of property. Few property values are required to understand from very inside, because those all will keep repeating everywhere in every CSS. Wherever you see any kind of design, everywhere that much property will get repeated. Okay, those come under the box model. Usually, how to calculate the height, width, how to apply the space, how much space should apply, and if you are applying the space, how to calculate, how according to multiple device the tag element should fit in one line, should go to the new line. Those calculation come under the box model. So we'll write some list of CSS property value that you should be aware of, will be helpful to manage the code of the CSS. List of property and values. Okay. One property you wrote called height. It is not only height, it is of three types. Height, mean height, and height auto. I'll give you example. One you have written called width. It is not only one type, it is of four types. We'll give you the example. The background you have written, it is not of one type, it is of 9 types. We'll give you the example. Okay, next you have written called color. Color is one type only. It will have color name or color code. You can give anything. Name or code for text color. For text color. Using this, you can apply for text color. For text color. Next property we have called a float. Using float property, we can change the behavior of element from block to inline. Using float property, we can change the behavior of a tag from block to inline, from left to right. Okay, it has only one option, block to inline, not inline to block. Which one? The float. Let us write in this property called float. Okay, what it do? It convert behavior of HTML element. Behavior of HTML element. Behavior of HTML element, where to where? Block to inline. From block to inline. Block to inline. It has two values. One is called left, another one is called right. Float called left, one is called float called right. Float none is also there, but that will not be directly impactful. It will not show any better output. So now like float left, what it do? Float left will print the container from left to right. It print container. Container, CONTAINER. container represent here called tag. It print container from left to right. Left to right. Okay. Second case you can write it print container from right to left. It print container from right to left. Right to left. But the combined answer for both is float. What it do? It is going to convert the behavior of HTML tag from block to inline. Like suppose multiple blocks, if you are using the multiple division all print in a new line, you can bring in the same line also by using the float property. While printing in the same line, there will be choice. You can print from left to right or you can print from right to left. One is called LTR, left to right. Second is called RTL, right to left. Okay, so we can create second example and we can implement this float property. So write a file example2.html. In the same inline folder only. Inline CSS will guide you about property. Okay, inline CSS folder, inline CSS will guide you about property, how the property work, what is that property and what is the value. Clearly we'll understand. But while implementation, we are not going to write a lot of inline CSS. We have to write mostly internal CSS or external. Okay, now let's go. We will create next file example2.html under inline CSS folder. Example2.html. Okay. We'll start from HTML and we'll follow the body tag. Under body tag, you will use a block level tag division. Block 1, block 2 and block 3. Block 3. Okay, ready? Now go for the CSS. Right inside the first division, style. It's look little lengthy process in line CSS, but it's meaningful. You will get many idea in this. The height. Suppose 200 we wrote. Width. Also 200. Background. Red color. Okay. And then same property apply everywhere. You can change the color. Red, green, blue. Red, green, blue. You will find because all threes are division itself, it will not come in same line. It will try to go to the new line. All threes are division only, so it will not come in one line, it will go to the new line. Height width is equal, background is different, will be easy to identify which division is coming at which place. See, all are going to the new line. Using CSS again, we can change their behavior. We will ask the division to change the behavior instead of going to the new line, come in the same line. Instead of behaving as a block, behave like the inline. So for that, we have two options. Option number one, how you want to print. Do you want to start from left side or you want to start from right side? If you want to start from left side, left one, second two, third is a three, third block is a three, then you have to write float left. So let's write here, float colon left, float F L-O-A-T, float colon left, float colon left. Everywhere you can apply the same float left and float left. Everywhere use the same property, float left, float left. You will find the division behavior got changed. Instead of printing in the new line, it will come now in the same line. It's converted from block to inline. Instead of going to the new line, it's printing the same line. Okay, let us run now. See what is happening. You can see all are coming in the same line. Float left we have written. Instead of float left, keep as a float right. See what will happen. All will print from the right side. Sequence will get changed. First is the red color. It will not be the first. It will be the first from the right side. The block 1 will be the first block from the right side. Block 2 will be the second block from the right side. Block 3 will be the last block from the right side. Instead of coming from the left, now it will start from where? Right. Call it RTL, right to left. Okay, RTL, right to left. Let us see it now. See, it is printing now right to left. This is their advantage. It converts from block to inline. The advantage of float is it converts from block to inline. It has a very good disadvantage also. CSS has given solution for that also. We will see what is the solution and how that can. Okay, hope ready. Check now. It will start from the right hand side. That is called float right. Let's check once. Hope it's work for everyone. Okay, now we'll come to the next property. Next property we have, suppose you are creating a design. In that multiple type of blocks you have to create. So it will not be all the blocks will be attached to each other. There will be some space also in between. Between green to blue, we need to give some space. Between black to green, we need to give some space. So how to apply the space? Okay, how to apply the space? For that, we have to see the next property of CSS. Come down. Right in that, let me keep the line everywhere so that it will be separate property. Okay, next property we have called margin property. Margin. Margin. It is for what purpose? Used to apply space between two container. Container as a tag. It used to apply a space between two container. Margin. It has multiple property and value. So first property you can write margin. Suppose auto. What it do is it align the container in center of present area. Wherever you are printing the tab will fit in the middle of current area. That is called margin auto. That is called margin auto. Okay. So create a file example 3.html. Create a file example 3.html. To implement the margin property, margin auto. Create a file called example 3.html. HTML body tag h1. CSS margin auto example. For this h1 we can apply a CSS color red color. so that H1 content will appear in red color. Text of H1 will appear in red color. Let us check now. Margin auto sum. Now we can use a division inside. Under the division, I can write some text 3-4 line. Next, after writing that, we can use here style equal to width. Assume 400 pixel. Background red color and margin auto. By default, all the HTML tags. By default, all the HTML tags okay. By default, all the HTML tags will print from the left side. By default, all HTML tags print from the left side. So there is a two option. Suppose this is the division. Inside the division will be in the left side, but the text will print in the middle. Division will be in the right side, but the text will print in the left. Division will be in the middle, but the text will print in the right. Okay. So requirement is to move the container or content. What you want to move? Like suppose you say the width is 400. So this division will take 400 width in the top left side. Okay. If we say text align right, division will be in the left side only. It will take 400, but their content will print where? In the right side, within the 400 area. But if we say margin auto is not going to deal with the content. Margin auto is going to deal with the container. Your container, which container? The division. Division itself will come in the middle. Now where the text will print, whether it's print from the left side or right side, it will follow the division, but your container will move in the left, move in the center. That is called margin auto. Most of the website, when you open, you will find website will fit in your middle of the screen. Okay, it will not appear in the very left. It will not go completely in the right. Some equal space will be in the left and equal space will be in the right. Everywhere people follow this property called margin as a auto. You open the laptop also, you will have little gap in the left and right, equal gap. Open the mobile phone also, you will have equal gap in the left and equal gap in the right. Okay, that is based on which property? Margin auto. Now let me run it and see how that look. It will come complete in the center of your current screen. If I minimize my window, as I resize the window, you can see I'm resizing the window. So what is the current size of the screen? What is the width of the current screen? In that width, it fit in the middle. Here, I resize something like this. You can see it's fitting in the middle. I increase little more. It's fitting in the middle. That is called margin auto. Margin auto will lead your container in the center of present screen, present area. Now what is the present area? Present area is nothing but your container. So your container is holding, not present area is not container. Present area is this window. Window, what is the size of the window? Width of the window. In current width of the window, the container will fit in the middle side. Okay, so let's go next and implement the next. So margin auto, where it will go? It will come in the center of your present area, present screen. Similar way we have margin. We want to give some 20 pixel gap, 30 pixel gap. Maybe sometime we want to give only from the left side, only from the right side, only from top, only from bottom. So for all we have different options. We can go to the developer guide and we can make a note here. Suppose you want a division should leave from all the side, assume 30 pixel. Margin colon 30 pixels. So this will leave the equal gap, 30 pixel in the left, 30 pixel in the right, 30 pixel on the top, and 30 pixel on the bottom. All the side it will leave equal gap. So we can write here, it apply 30 px gap from all side. It apply 30 pixel gap from all side. It applied 30 pixel gap from all the side. Right, next we have some more called margin top 30 px. So what it will do, only from top side it will give a gap of 30 pixel. It applied 30 pixel gap from top side, from top side. Top side. Margin hyphen left. It applied 30 pixel gap from where? Left side. Margin hyphen right. It applied 30 pixel gap from right side. Okay. Margin bottom. It applied 30 pixel gap from where? Bottom side. One more we have short code. Margin first will come top, second will come left right, last will come as a bottom. Suppose I write for margin 20 px, 30 px and 20 px. So what it is going to do, top 20 px, top 20 px, left right 50 px, left and right 50 px, and bottom also 20 px. So 20 px. Call it a short code. Instead of writing left, right, top, bottom 4 times, you can manage through 1 time only. The first number is top, second number is for the left and right, and the last number is for the bottom. So top how much? 20 pixel. Left right how much? 50 pixel. Bottom how much? 20 pixel. This way also we can write. Ready? Let us create next file. Or maybe in this file also you can write. Add one more division. Give a style equal to similar height width we can add. Instead of margin auto, we can apply some other property. Width give 300. Background give orange color. And margin give 30 pixel. And float left we have to add. Float colon left. Reason is we are going to fit multiple division in one line. So if you add multiple division in one line, all should come one after other. We have to understand the gap also. So for that, margin property plus float left is required. So we can write there this division many times. Let me use this division many times and understand whether it is getting applied or not. Ready? Go ahead. See where it is going. One division should appear. Okay. Width we are not given. Okay. Yeah. It's not coming because height we have not mentioned. We have to mention height also. Height also keep 200 pixel. Now you added a property called width. It is going to 300 pixel will be wide, 200 pixel will be height, background will be orange color, margin 30 pixel, left also 30 pixel, right also 30 pixel, and float will be how much? Float will be left. Like 200 by 300, it will create the block. Background will be orange color and margin 30 pixel. Between two blocks, there will be gap of 30 pixel in the left and 30 pixel in the right. And since float left we have added, so it is going to print from the left to right. So one block is ready. Let us check how it's appear. One block appear here. Okay. Same way, same division. If I copy and paste 3 times, then I should be able to see 3 similar block in one line. 3 similar block in one line if a screen width is suitable. Okay, 300 maybe not fit for me. I will keep as a 200, 200 and 200. Check now how many divisions are coming in one line. 3 division. See, 3 division. So each division is leaving 30 pixel from all the side. So orange is living in the left 30. This orange is also living in the left 30. So between two orange block, you can see the width is 60 pixel. 30 of first block and 30 of middle block. 30, 30, 60. Here also you have a 60. But from top to bottom you have 30 only. Because orange, the red block is not leaving any pixel from surrounding. So the gap is coming, that is of the orange block. Orange block says like margin 30 pixel. Left, right, top, bottom, 30, 30 pixel, all the side. Okay. So that is one from where, from the margin property. Similar way, we can apply margin top, margin left, margin right, margin bottom. Add some text inside. Add some text inside. Again, add some text inside. Check now. Something like this. Okay. In the first block, you can see inside you have no any space. Here in this section also you can see inside you don't have a space. A space is coming from where? Outside. Okay. So margin property play the major important role. Go to anywhere, Flipkart. Between two products, you will have equal gap always. Okay. Go to your Facebook. Left side one section, right side in another section, middle section in one. In between all sections there will be gap. When the people post something, between that there will be gap. So this margin is going to play the main important role to adjust the container according to need. Now suppose we are given the 30 pixel gap in the laptop large device. If it is a mobile phone, the gap 30 pixel we can reduce to 10 pixel. Okay, we can override the property. Okay, so person will open in laptop, he will find a space, more space. Same person will open in the mobile phone, he will find less space. He will not find much space. Okay, so those all are being led by whom? CSS only. Right. So come to your developer guide again. And in developer guide, write the next property. Short code also I'll write example. Write next property. That's called padding. Padding. Padding what it do? It apply a space. it apply a space inside of container. It apply a space inside of container. Inside of container. Okay. So how many type of padding we have? One, we have padding 30 pixel. What it do? It apply gap from all side, but inside only. But inside the division, it apply the gap from all the side. Okay, top, left, right, bottom. Another one we have called padding hyphen top. Padding top, suppose if you are giving 30 pixel, it apply gap from top side. Padding hyphen left, it apply a space from here, left side. Padding hyphen right, it apply space from right side. From right side. Padding hyphen bottom. Okay. It applies the space from bottom side. So left, right, top, bottom you wrote. We have shortcode in that also. Padding, suppose 20 pixels. So we write as a top, left, right, then bottom. For example, padding colon 30 px from top, 50 px from left, right, 30 pixel from the bottom. So we can write top 30 px, left, right, how much? Left, right, you can say 50 px, bottom also 30 px. Book written. We'll implement padding tomorrow. Padding plus some more example we will create, and after that we will go to the internal success. Inline is a lengthy process, but property wise it's easy to understand. You will get more idea on that. Developer guide and drop in the chat. You can check it. Then it's still